What's up, college football fans? Snowy Valenta here once again with the Mean Green Show, and today I'm joined with Darius Terrell. If you don't know who Darius is, he's a former University of Texas wide receiver as well as a North Texas wide receiver. Little transfer action before it was, such a mainstream thing. But before we get into, all the things we're going to discuss today, if you're a fan of college football recruiting, G5 football, the transfer portal, all of the above, consider hitting that like and subscribe button because that's really all we talk about here. So Darius, hey man, I really appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy guy. You spin a lot of plates, and yeah, man. So I mean, how's life been post college football?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on. Life's great. Life's moving fast, man. I'm looking up now. I'm about to be 30 at the end of the year, and I'm like,
Wow.
damn. Just yesterday, I was still in high school, man.
Yeah.
Had the world at my feet.
Yep.
So life's moving fast, but everything is good. I'm blessed. I'm glad to be on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, speaking of high school, you're a Metroplex local kid coming out of DeSoto High School, and when you were coming out, you were all-state selection your senior year, as well as the district offensive MVP your senior year as well. Coming out, you went to UT. What led you to choose Texas? Amongst other schools.
All right, so it's gonna be a long answer because it's a little bit complex. Okay,
Yeah.
but so my father, Darius Terrell, believe it or not, yeah, his mom named him Darius, his name rhymes, Darius Terrell. Came out of WT White in 1984. For those that do not know, Dallas ISD, WT White they're the Longhorns.
Yeah.
And in our little office growing up, I'd be in there messing around or whatever, or in their office, the big picture of him framed is him in his all white WT White uniform.
Yeah.
And they're playing Richardson Pierce. And for those that don't know, Richardson Pierce is the Mustangs. So it looks like Texas versus SMU. And he's on the picture shaking three guys by taking to the house. And my dad went to SMU out of high school. Played running back in the 80s. He was there until they got hit with the death penalty.
Yeah.
And by the time I was born at the end of 91 through 2010, when I was going to college, SMU was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a lot of ways, and what a lot of those guys did, they picked somebody else to be their team for that time. And my dad went back to his high school roots, which happened to be the Longhorns.
Yeah.
So on the television every Saturday, I'm watching Texas football, and my dad's a Texas fan, even though he went to Oklahoma. So subconsciously, I grew up hooked on the Longhorns, and when they won that championship with Vince Young, it was over after that. So fast forward a few years. I'm in 10th grade. My parents made a decision. They were going to spend $300 to send me to a Texas camp for 3 days, and they were going to spend.
This is your sophomore year at DeSoto?
Yes, this is summer. This is the summer going to junior year, so I'm still technically a sophomore.
Okay.
They decided to spend $300 to send me to Oklahoma's 3-day camp, and their thing was we didn't really have the money, but they're saying, you know what, this is on you. So we're going to give you the opportunity to go, and you have to perform. And so I went to those camps, on a mission, and I'll be damned if at the end of that Texas camp, they didn't tell me. They told my parents on the ride back home. I'm kind of, I'm thinking I did pretty good. I enjoyed meeting everybody. They said, oh, they didn't tell you? I'm like, who didn't tell me what? They said, oh, you got a scholarship offered to Texas. I'm like, what? So it was over from there. I pretty much called Mac Brown that evening. They weren't taking commitments at the time. They wanted to wait until the senior class prior to you would announce theirs. So what Texas would do was he would already have, 10, 12 kids committed before signing day for the next class. So people thought, Mac Brown's just boom, 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 killing at the junior day. No, the truth is he's had commitments for months, for almost a year. And what happens was you have to wait until your junior day to then make the announcement. Okay. So what happened with me, and I'll make the long story short.
Yeah.
I was being recruited. Of course, I had been committed to them silently for, about a year. And then I get to the junior day, February of my junior year. And the pitch changed on me. It went from, saying, hey, we think you're the next, Lyman Swede or whatever, to, hey, we want you to be like this guy. I'm like, who the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
Michael Finley. I'm like, hey, you're tight end. I'm like, no. So I've been committed the whole time. But, my dad's like, hey, just relax, go along with it or whatever. So, I get through the day or whatever. And then we're there at the end where we're supposed to make everything official. And I'm 16 years old. I'm emotional. I'm like, this is not what I agreed to. This is not what I signed up to do. So I did not look for the entire hour we were in that office. It's my mom, my dad, my little brother who has no clue what's going on, Mac Brown and his wife, and Coach Chambers, who at the time was a tight end coach, was the guy recruiting me from Dallas Carter. I didn't look Mac Brown in his face. I didn't look Coach Chambers in his face. I didn't look his wife in her face the entire hour. I'm looking down like you liars, liars. But so we get out of that meeting. We get out of that meeting. I'm getting my dad's ripping me a new one
Oh
on the
yeah.
ride back to the hotel, and I get a call from my high school coach. Hey man, what happened? You know, coach is saying this and that. I'm like, they lied to me. Forget this. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Long story short, dad made me go back the next day. I apologized. I committed to Mac Brown and such. And then when we got home that
That's
Sunday,
when you verbally committed?
I verbally committed. Well, I'd already been committed, but it became official. So I, get to let everybody know it's public now.
Right.
So I get back home, and they open the garage, and sitting in the garage is a was it like a 95, a little 2-door Honda Accord, and guess what's on the front? A Longhorn logo, license plate. So I'm like, oh my God, that's why he was so upset. You see what I'm saying? And they told everybody had a surprise, and I'm like, well, damn, I gotta stick with this. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
I committed to Texas. I guess that's technically, as a sophomore, and I stuck with it all throughout. And if you remember at the time, Texas didn't let you take visits or anything. So I committed. I was locked in. I said, I'm gonna learn how to play tight end when I get here. I'm gonna trust you all. And that's a whole different story from there. But that's how that all happened, man. That's how that happened. I was committed to Texas in 10th grade.
So back in the day when Mac Brown was, calling the shots down there and everything, they wouldn't. So if you're verbally committed to Texas, if you were to hypothetically go officially or unofficially visit like LSU or something, there would they, okay, that's okay, bye? Is that how they would do it?
That's how it works. That's how it works. And again, as a kid, I saw it, even though I didn't really understand what it was. Now I do now, though. Yeah, they would enforce that with who they felt they could. If you were highly rated, if you were a 5-star guy, whether you're really that good or not, if you had that rating, you get to do what you wanted to do. But other folks, like basically the way he said, he was like, "Hey, Darius, you're the number one guy on our board in state, but hey, if you walk out of this office, this is Texas, and I got 20 other kids that want your spot." I'm like, they can have it. My dad like, no, they can't. You go ahead. But so that's the way. Yeah, they put a little pressure on you, and they had done it in previous classes when kids were committed and decided they wanted to take a visit somewhere or whatever, or pop up on the campus unofficially. They pulled a scholarship. Yeah, they did. They would. So wow. So no, we were locked in. I was locked in.
And you earned that scholarship basically. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they saw your film before they offered you, but did they offer you predominantly after your camp performance?
Well, so I was on varsity as a sophomore. I had sophomore tape. At the camp too, we had, we did the 40, 5, 10, 5, all the testing. They had some. It wasn't 7-on-7 at the time. It was more. What was it? We were doing. It was like touch football, and I was out there playing quarterback because it wasn't a whole lot of kids there, and we're just killing it.
Right.
So, and then I had a good relationship with my high school coach at the time. The guy that just got the job there, his name was Coach Mathis, who came from LBJ. So I think they had their relationship with him as well. And he's telling them, hey, yeah, you need to offer this guy, go ahead. So they did it early. Yeah. They did it early. But with Texas, man, the whole time I felt like I gave up my identity as a player to go there. And I trusted them. And I didn't feel like I got coached or developed.
Right.
No, they kind of just rolled it out and were like, figure it out. And then, I can, as now at this age, I never fully bought in to what they were trying to do there. I didn't have a chance, and I didn't give them a chance. It was never going to work. It was doomed from the beginning. Shouldn't have gone. Yeah. But it was a dream, man. And hey, everything happens for a reason. It was a great experience. You know, but my mission now is I said, I come back, I coach, I'm making sure, the next Darius Terrell is a hell of a lot more prepared, than I was.
Definitely.
So that's what I do, and I love doing it, man. So but that's my little story.
That's awesome, man. So then after, transferring to UNT, you were the team's second leading receiver your senior season. All that being said, you're someone who's obviously familiar with the transfer process, the transfer portal, being that you did it before it was even mainstream, I guess. You know what I mean? It was kind of, people did it back then, but it wasn't nearly of what it is today. And are you a fan of this new rule where the kids, they have the opportunity they transfer? I believe this is the rule. I mean, every time I talk with somebody, my mind kind of changes a little bit, but I think the rule is that they can transfer now. They basically get their grad transfer, ability any point in their career. Is that, to your understanding, what it is?
Now you get the 1 year, you can transfer one time whenever you want. But the rule now is, so if you use that one transfer, even if you graduate where you're from, you got to apply for a waiver the second time.
Okay.
So you get one opportunity to do it over.
Gotcha. Are you a fan of that rule? Do you think it's good for the kids ultimately, or you
Oh
know?
man, I love it.
Yeah,
I wish I knew a lawyer, man. I'm trying to get my year back and get back out there,
yeah,
man. But Russell Wilson was the first one to really do it. I want to say it was
hmm
2013.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he went from NC State to Wisconsin,
Right.
and then from there became a fourth round pick. But
Yeah.
outside of him, prior to him, the only time I ever really heard of it, it was a guy going from football to basketball, and that was Greg Paulus with Duke. And it was
hmm
just because he had another year left, so he played another sport. I'm sorry, he went from basketball to football.
Right.
I think he went to play quarterback at Syracuse or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just wasn't very common.
Right.
Um, yeah, so when I transferred, I had to sit out a year. In my case, I needed that year because I
Yeah.
left Texas. I had spent 2.5 years trying to gain all this weight.
Right.
So shoot, I was 250 pounds when I got to
Wow.
UNT, and I
Wow.
by the time that February rolled around, I
hmm
was 207.
Wow.
So but I needed it. In my case, I needed it. But
Yeah.
I wonder, kids, if coaches have the freedom to move as they
Yeah.
want to, kids should have that right. And I think they're doing it the right way with the one-time thing.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's going to affect. So who is going to really hurt, in my opinion, and I saw it a little bit this past cycle.
hmm
It's going to hurt those high school seniors that didn't
hmm
have big junior years and stuff like that. Because I had a kid that I was talking to out in Waxahachie that
hmm
was the best corner in the district, and I'm at Desoto, so we got Duncanville, Cedar Hill.
Oh yeah.
It's loaded, and
Oh
this
yeah.
kid is locking all of them up.
Yeah.
We couldn't get them anywhere because everybody's holding scholarships open for. We want this, we
Transfer.
want this, we want this, we want this transfer portal kid.
Wow.
We want this kid. So instead of that kid should be on a full ride at UNT or something like
Right.
that. But
Right.
instead, he's got to go to Navarro for a year.
Wow.
And
Wow.
but yeah, those JUCO kids that aren't
hmm
offensive linemen and defensive linemen, skilled JUCO kids and high school skill kids,
hmm
they're gonna get crushed in this whole deal as far as the FBS goes.
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of my second part of this question. So, um, okay, so we'll put a pause on that briefly of how it's going to affect the kids.
Okay.
How do you think this is going to affect the G5 programs of the world? I'm not talking about your Alabama's losing what I'm about to explain, but like
Yeah.
so like your Kansas States of the world, your Kansases of the world, stuff like that. Do you think we're going to see kids go there, realize, oh, we can't really play here or something, and then like, well, we'd rather go to a conference like Rice or UNT and have a better shot of being the guy, or like, do you think we'll see a little bit more of a even spread of talent from those type of levels?
So this is what I was thinking, and I was thinking that I was having a conversation with it Sunday, watching the was it Sam Houston in South Dakota State.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it in the reverse. If I'm a Power 5 and I know I'm missing something here and there,
Yeah.
I'm watching the lower levels. I'm gonna go find me somebody that should be playing up on this level. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly think it's gonna work in the reverse.
Yeah.
But if I was a G5 program, like I just saw UNT was excited to get Tommy Bush.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No disrespect to Tommy Bush. Tommy Bush
Sure.
didn't play a snap at Georgia.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
So you don't know, if he's banged, you don't know
Right.
anything about him. And now
Right.
he's coming in, he's taking up. Tommy's got what, 2 years left to play?
Maybe three with that COVID year. Yeah.
But compare that to a high school kid who
Mhm.
would have 5. But
Yeah. The dice roll definitely.
I think you need to be careful about these coaches are so excited to, hey, I got this kid from Georgia or whatever.
Mhm.
But you got to understand that kid, I wasn't the same kid when I came to UNT from Texas.
Right.
That kid's not the same mentally. Okay.
Right.
He just failed.
Right.
Okay. For 2 years or 3 years. Tommy graduated. So it had to be at least 3 years. He failed.
I think, yeah.
And I think a lot of these schools, I think the ones that are smart, I think they're gonna hit these high schools even harder now. Okay, for these kids that now aren't getting the attention. The ones that are right below the top tier. Nobody wants to go into school and say, "Oh, I got the third best." But the truth is, you go to these factories now because the game's changed at the high school. These high schools are more stacked than they've been. That's a whole other conversation for another time. But I think schools that are going to focus on, like, who was it? Texas State did not sign a high school kid this past cycle.
All transfers. You think that's going to bear well for them, or do you think, like, I'm interested to see how that plays out? I mean, how do you think that's going to shake out for them in the Sun Belt?
I'm super interested to see. I think you could, if there was a place to try it
Yeah.
It's the Sun Belt, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
the MAC or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can't get away with that at the P5 level. You're gonna get run out of town.
Definitely.
Texas State's the type of program that could try something like that, and if it
Yeah.
works, then hey, that dude just did something.
Yeah.
But I think you run the risk of, will Texas State be able to go into a high school this next cycle and get anybody?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Yeah.
So if I was a head coach at a high school, I would have an issue with those
Yeah.
guys. I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Because you just
That's
shipped a
gonna be
lot of kids to
interesting.
JUCO that could play college football.
Yeah, that's true. So okay, obviously in piggyback off of your JUCO comments earlier. So how do you think we could see a uptick in like these kids like the Waxahachie guy the cornerback you were just describing who had to go to Navarro? Do you think we'll see an uptick of players of his talent that are UNT guys, UTSA guys, maybe SMU, the G5 type players that are really good? Do you think we'll see an uptick in them going to JUCO or maybe even the FCS, and then maybe them getting plucked from the FCS realms? Or
no, you're gonna see them go JUCO, because even FCS, I had Stephen F. Austin sitting there saying this kid's the #1 corner on our board.
Yeah.
Oh, he don't have any offers now? How about a preferred walk-on? Everybody's trying to find a way around. So I'm saying, so no, those kids are gonna get screwed in this whole deal. And I think the ones that are smart, that because it's new and everybody's caught up in the new what's going on right now, I think the staff that are smart, they're gonna still focus on those high school kids. What JUCO, what the transfer portal is providing for a lot of coaches right now, you're seeing it. They think they can take a shortcut. All right, you're seeing how many folks think they can take a shortcut, and I think it's gonna bite a lot of them in the butt. But those high school kids, man, no, I think you're gonna see them. They're gonna be going JUCO.
Yeah,
they're gonna be going to they're gonna get hurt in this deal, and it's really unfortunate.
Do you think we'll see this
again? It's just skill guys. Remember, big guys are gonna always they're gonna be fine because they're harder to find. But the skill guys, man, they're in a bad spot.
Do you think we're gonna see an uptick in level of play at the JUCO level from these skill guys because of the good ones having to go to
Well,
JUCO
hey,
route?
I mean, for the first time in, I believe it's been like 15, 20 years, Cisco Junior College was just won that conference, man. And we got the only reason
I actually went to Cisco.
That's funny. That's funny. Small world. So we actually have a receiver there from DeSoto.
Really?
Ashton Hawkins. Ashton didn't get to play his junior year or sophomore year. Had a lot of off-field stuff.
Yeah.
Got back on as a senior, got his stuff together, and he's at Cisco balling out. But for example, like UNT, they're gonna miss on those kids. They're gonna miss on those kids.
Yeah.
But no, look at Cisco. Cisco just won the freaking conference, and they were the lowest rated team. Well, Cisco's got better kids than they've usually had because there are more kids to be had.
Right.
So you saw it right there. You saw it right there.
I'm pulling for Cisco to turn it around, man. But when I saw that, man, I about fell out of my chair when I was like, "What? Cisco won the conference?" Like, but
right there in front of you.
That'll be interesting to see how that shakes out, and without name dropping programs or anything or whatnot, but shifting things over to high school ball, and obviously saying that college football is a business is that's nothing new in high school to some levels. But do you feel like we're seeing more and more of the high school being a business, just clear as day, like not even so much trying to hide certain things, or maybe that's not the right choice of words, but I feel like
I can cut y'all right now. Has recruiting picked up at the high school level? Absolutely.
Yeah. Where's the movement coming from?
Well, you have to look up first off, everybody. I mean, if you look south of Dallas County, everybody has open enrollment. Okay. And that's not for academics.
Yeah.
Okay. It's for athletics. I mean, part of what you have to recruit now. You have to recruit your own kids at the middle school. It's gone so far. There are some people in the area they've taken it. I mean, just yesterday I saw a poster put out, "Come camp with the champs," and it's open to all kids in the city, not their town, in the entire city of Dallas.
Right.
3rd grade.
Yeah.
Through upcoming freshmen. That's open recruiting right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And no, I mean, if you look at it every spring, if you look on social media from January through March, you see every year now, well, for the last 2 years at least, all these private school kids, these TAPS kids, they're transferring out to big public schools. Why is that? Well, the private school kids don't have to worry about a PAPF form. They're immediately eligible wherever they go. So private school kids have become a priority. You just saw it this past year, Jerron Bradley, went from John Paul to out here to DeSoto with us. You saw
Mhm.
the quarterback from John Paul, Grayson James, go to Duncanville.
Mhm.
Nolan Catholic just sent the DB to Duncanville. Like it's
Mhm.
all it's not it's part of it. You can look at the private school ranks now, kind of as the JUCO ranks for high school now for the
Yeah.
6A, 5A programs,
Yeah.
man. But no, they supplement their programs with the private schools, and you got to build a fence around your own town now because there are
Mhm.
folks coming in and at third, fourth, fifth grade, and
Yeah.
they're preying on either parents that don't know any better or parents where it's just one parent and she has to rely on other people, and they're
Mhm.
getting them, and they're getting the best kids in
Yeah.
in the city, and they're putting them all in one spot, acting like they develop kids. So
Yeah.
that's how it goes. You have to do it now, or you're gonna get left in
Yeah.
the dust. You have to. And
Yeah.
I have no problem naming names. If you look at your
Yeah.
programs, Alito,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
reason. It got the market cornered in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Southlake does it. Duncanville does it. DeSoto, everybody does.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody
Yeah.
does, and I have proof. I talk to all these parents every day.
Yeah.
Okay, I know all these folks. I've been standing next to my
Mhm.
quarterback, our freshman quarterback at DeSoto in
Mhm.
January when he got a phone call saying,
Yeah.
"How would you like to be a blank blank?"
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
standing right there, and the coach's calling them. So it's the Wild West out here, man. It is what it is,
Yeah, man.
and
Texas
you have to
football,
do it. It's
man.
it's no need to even pretend. Folks are
Yeah.
like, you have to. Everybody
Yeah.
has to, or you're gonna get killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That championship team, the basketball team at Duncanville,
Mhm.
I had all those kids in middle school.
Dude, that's
We left for
crazy.
1 year. Went out there to Fort Worth. We came back. All them jokers were gone.
Oh,
So
man,
it's
dude.
not. You have to constantly be in communication with your lower levels. You have to have coaches and adults in place at those lower levels to have a clue.
Mm. Mhm.
Otherwise, your lifeblood, your program's getting cut off or whatever gets up
Yeah.
to the high school.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you change that because
Yeah.
it's too many kids. It's too much to really truly police. Just like the NCAA, you can't really
Mhm.
police it. You can't.
Right. Right. Yeah, I guess you just gotta adapt, accept and adapt, or like you said, get left behind. I mean,
You
that just
have
might
to.
be the reality of
You
it.
have to.
Well, cool. Well, hey, Darius, once again, man, thank you so much for coming on. Really enjoy your insight. Love to have you on again sometime soon. And yeah, guys, once again, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I'll tag Darius on Twitter when I post this up. Give him a follow, and he's got a lot of exciting things coming up in the future. You're gonna wanna see
Oh
and
yeah.
keep up with him. So yeah, Darius, thanks again, man.
No, thanks for having me on, man. I enjoyed it. Anytime, just let me know. I'll hop on with you. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too.